order the Westmont Village Board meeting of August 27th. To order at 6 o'clock p.m. and ask Clerk Simpson for roll call, please. Here.
Trustee Barker.
Here.
Trustee Barry.
Here.
Trustee Guzzo.
Here.
Is nobody's mic working?
Yeah, we're,
I showed up.
give us a second.
Quick pause. We're making sure the microphones are all working. Nero. Trustee Nero, can you hear me?
Here. Yes, I can hear you. Sorry, there was just a ton of feedback when you opened the meeting up there. I don't think many of us could hear you.
Okay.
But it's good now.
Okay, we'll go back. Trustee Barker.
Here.
Good. Trustee Barry.
Here.
Trustee Guzzo.
Here.
Trustee Little.
Here.
And we know Trustee Nero's here. Attorney Zimonak.
Here.
Village Manager May.
Here.
Finance Director Parker.
Here.
Okay.
Would everybody please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag
Of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
and good evening and welcome. Open forum. There's no one here for open forum, or is there any submitted online?
There is no public comment,
No
Mayor.
public comments. We'll move on to reports. The first report is mine. I have a couple things to mention. This is, again, a hybrid virtual village meetings. We have trustees that are participating at home or remotely, and then we have myself, Clerk Simsky, and Trustee Little that are actually here in Village Hall. We'll continue to hold those, but the residents can watch that, and they can use our online public comment anytime they'd like to, and they're welcome to come here. Chief Riley, I think it's necessary to give a COVID-19 update.
Thank you, Mayor. And for all those at home, I'd like to just give an update that we continue to have a little uptick in DuPage County as we have hit 14,171 effective this afternoon, along with 532 deaths in DuPage County. Westmont as a community went up 2 positive cases from yesterday from 509 to 511. Our positivity rate in Westmont is 4.3. However, we do continue to see an uptick due to more testing that's going on in DuPage County. The good news is that the deaths continue to be lower. Again, to everyone at home, we need to do the right thing. We need to continue to social distance, wear our face coverings in the public, restaurants, bars, car dealerships, grocery stores, etc., to continue to make Westmont safe. We continue to have the uptick, but we can all do a little bit better by continuing to social distance and wearing the proper face coverings. So that's my report for you, Mayor, unless you have any questions or the board.
Do we have any questions? Seeing none, thank you, Chief. I have a couple more items. The 100th Anniversary Committee. As everyone may be aware, that 2021 is Westmont's 100th birthday, and our historical booklet is on schedule to be published and printed by early 2021. We're working on the details for a Community Legacy Award program in which individuals and families who have made long-lasting contributions to Westmont will be recognized. We will have our 99th anniversary celebration activities during our November 19th board meeting. We'll have more details coming soon. Our sister city ambassador, Angela Yang, has been in Taiwan since the beginning of the pandemic, and has been very active on our behalf. Last week, she and Magistrate Yang from Hsinchu County announced that they will be sending 1,000 pieces of PPE to Westmont. We want to thank them for their generosity. And that's all I have, and Clerk Simsky.
Hi, I just have a little bit of a report on the Public Information Committee meeting. We received updates from the library and the village and the other community groups. Everything is still pretty low-key due to the COVID, but there are modified programs and events taking place. We will be sending out a press release soon when we know these updates. Labor Day, Village Hall will be closed to the public Monday, September 7th for Labor Day. And I just wanted to express my condolences to former trustee Pat Klevenow in the loss of her husband. And also condolences to the Mark Forsley family. Mark's father died, so on Tuesday.
So sorry to hear that.
Me too. So I just wanted to give those two notifications, so.
Thank you. Trustee Nero.
Thank you, Mayor. Just a few things. Our next Public Works Committee meeting will be September 24th, 4:30 p.m. Hopefully, maybe we'll see if a little more of us are in Village Hall by then. Some exciting news. Our Public Works building is now 80% complete. All outside doors have been installed. The elevator is going to be completed next week. The lot is being paved with binder and the final surface to follow next month. Fireproofing of the building is to be completed next week, and the construction trailer has been removed, so that's a good sign. 61st Street and Richmond Detention Base is near completion as well, and we expect that to be done this coming Monday, so watch for that wrapping up. And the LEC project, the area between Norfolk and Naperville Road, has all the under drain installed, and they will be pouring concrete curbs next week. And the last thing I have is again, condolences to the Klevenow and the Forsley families. The thoughts and prayers are with their families during this tough week for them. And that's all I have, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Little.
Thank you, Mayor. I just have a couple of items. The next Administration Finance Committee meeting will be held September 10th at 4:30 here in the office. The Halloween costume contest. The Westmont Special Events Corporation is working on a modified Halloween costume contest and a Halloween home decorating contest. Details will be available soon. Then the last item that I have is door-to-door trick-or-treating. We're at the special events, we're asking if there's going to be a formal plan or recommendation for door-to-door trick-or-treating this year due to COVID-19, and are wondering if DuPage County might create a county-wide recommendation, as this information will help residents plan for Halloween. So we're reaching out to DuPage County to see what their action item will be on that. And that's all I have, Mayor.
Well,
Thank you.
And that could even be statewide by the time we get closer. Trustee Marie Johanna Guzzo.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Prior to this meeting, we actually had a public safety committee meeting, which had a fairly lengthy agenda. I'm going to kind of touch on what we discussed. We talked about, the fire department talked about a GEMT reimbursement. It was discussed about the storm response and the performance of systems for the 8/10 storms, as everybody remembers that. The police, the fire department, and public works all worked jointly, so I want to say thank you to all of them who assisted the residents who had storm damage from the August 10th storm. We received a COVID-19 update, and then we also discussed ETSB radio replacement, and the fire station alerting has been completed. Promotional testing is going to be done in-house. Discuss staffing. The 9/11 service update, it is only going to be for village staff only, which will be on 9/11. The fire department is working on a new residential survey. I'm also happy to report that the fire department received an SCBA grant, which is self-contained breathing apparatus, in the amount of $181,818.18. So congratulations. Also received a COVID-19 grant for supplies of $38,205. Congratulations on that one. They are also working on fire apparatus engineer class training sessions, because anyone who runs an engine, I believe, needs to have the certification, so they are currently working on that. And then for the police department, we discussed legislative incentives related to police reform, and the police department received a $2,200 grant for the accreditation, so thank you and congratulations to them. We also talked about researching body work cameras and LPR, which is license plate recognition, discussed police staffing and the enforcement of the governor's executive orders. The police department has been handling some COVID-19 complaints. In addition, with the police department, they are going to be hosting a shred event, which is going to benefit Special Olympics. They're working with the Westmont Business Statue Shred on a paper shredding event, which will be a fundraiser. It's scheduled for October 17th from 9 a.m. till 1 p.m. Because of COVID-19, the National Night Out for the police department has been canceled. Sorry to see that has to be canceled. And then the fire department, there are safety videos. Neil Berkowitz has been making great safety videos for kids. All are invited to check them out on the fire department Facebook page. And last but not least, I want to let everyone know that our next Public Safety Committee meeting is going to be November 19th, 4:30 at Village Hall, or virtually, or a combination of. And I, too, want to wish the families of Klebenau and the Forsley families condolences, and they are in our thoughts and prayers. That's all I have, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Barker.
Thank you, Mayor. Just a couple of quick things this evening. Westmont First is just reminding folks that the census takers are out in the community, and be patient with them and cooperative, and know that any counting that they get means added revenue for our community. So work with those people as they come around and finish up on the census for 2020. And then the Environmental Improvement Committee will meet in September at Village Hall at 6 p.m. And we're having a presentation by Dr. Berthold Crazing about the state of the solar energy or solar industry and its economics. So we're going to dive a little bit deeper into solar industry and what it means, and get a better understanding as we try to look at green alternatives on behalf of the village and the community. That is all. Thank you.
Well, thank you. And last but not least, with probably the most information, Trustee Barry.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And a lot of it has been reported last week, so I'll try to get through it. But today, the economic development team was able to meet with Hilton and explore a couple different options they presented a couple different options that they're exploring for their future success. Of course, the COVID has really changed how they operate because of lack of banquets, weddings, et cetera. We all know the story. So they're looking to kind of revamp and come up with some new ideas to rebrand and make that a different type of facility up there. We also met with AT&T today in regard to the 63rd Street property, and they're proposing a couple feelers out there of what the possibilities could be for development there with the potential buyers of the AT&T building. And then we also have word that Ogden Lincoln Mercury is going to go ahead with their plans and expand. So that is good news. It was just a few short years ago, the auto dealers were really hurting, and now we're seeing more and more expansion with the remodeling going on, BMW, Laurel, so forth. And now hearing Mark Iozzo wants to expand is more good news. The planning and zoning, as we're all continuing to see around town, Ogden Avenue, 63rd Street, as Trustee Nero mentioned, the alleys are moving right along. So lots of things, Quincy Street Station, Quincy Street. And so a lot of things around town. Nature's Best has now confirmed with us that they are going to proceed with their parking lot. So again, retaining businesses. I know we have one on the agenda tonight that's moving. So a lot of good things around. Larry Forsberg and his team are doing an excellent job, and all the staff, included Bruce, Miscellaneous, and of course Spencer and Manager May. So things are moving along really well, Mr. Mayor. As you know, you were at the meetings, and that's all I have. And just to continue, again, the sympathies to the Klebanow and Forsley families. Thank you.
Thank you. And again, I think we all, two former trustees, had a loss in their family, Trustee Klebanow and Trustee Forsley. Again, our deepest sympathy to both. Does anybody see anything on the consent agenda they'd like to be removed? Seeing none, I'd ask Manager May to please read.
The consent agenda this evening, first we have Village Board minutes. Board to consider approving the minutes of the Village Board meeting held August 13, 2020. It's followed by Finance Ordinance number 8, in the aggregate amount of $944,411.22. We have purchase orders this evening. First one for Curry Motors, $33,293, represents a replacement police squad. It's actually a squad that was involved in an accident, and it was totaled by our insurance, so this is all recovered expenditure. Second PO, A-Lamp Concrete Contractors Incorporated, $276,470. This is the purchase order that supports the contract construction award previously awarded for the Ogden Avenue median construction. Next purchase order is Critical Technology Solutions, $56,862.50. This is the facility door access system for the new Public Works facility in construction. The total of those three purchase orders is $366,625.50. Brings the total of the purchase orders and finance ordinance number 8 to $1,311,036.72. And that is the consent agenda on this evening.
Do I have a motion to approve as read?
Motion to approve. Nero.
Second, Little.
Motion made and second on the question. Seeing none, roll call, please.
Trustee Nero.
Yes.
Trustee Guzzo.
Yes.
Trustee Barker.
Yes.
Trustee Little.
Yes.
Trustee Barry.
Yes.
Motion passes. We'll move on to new business. A, 126 Scott Court floor area ratio variance. Board to consider ordinance approving a zoning code variance to increase the floor area ratio to allow the construction of a closed sunroom over an existing open deck of a residential property at 126 Scott Court. And I'm looking for Director Sylvester for some additional information.
Hello. Very briefly, this is a request to allow a building that would be larger than our rules in Westmont would allow it to be. I think I explained last month when you were considering another request for a variance from FAR that in addition to setback limits and height limits, another way to control the size of buildings is through floor area ratio. This request is to exceed the allowable size of a house basically by enclosing a deck that already exists on the back of the house. It won't be noticeable. It's a very small addition, but the house is already over the limit, so the variance is needed. Planning and Zoning Commission held a public hearing. There was no community opposition. No one spoke against it, and the Planning and Zoning Commission voted unanimously to recommend approval of the request.
Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve, Little.
Second, Nero.
Motion made in second. On the question. And again, because there was a patio, there's no additional stormwater requirement.
That is correct.
Any additional comment? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Trustee Little.
Yes.
Trustee Barry.
Yes.
Trustee Nero.
Yes.
Trustee Guzzo.
Yes.
Trustee Barker.
Yes.
Motion passes. New business B, 526 North Park Street, a variance. Board to consider an ordinance to allow a variance for the construction of a garage at 526 North Park Street. Director Sylvester.
Again, this is a request to allow someone to build something slightly larger than the village's rules normally allow. It's for a detached garage that is slightly longer and slightly larger in square feet. This is the property immediately adjacent to the medical office building that's being built at 303 West Ogden. It's the homeowner to the south. It's a long-term resident. She's lived in the community many years. Again, it was considered by Planning and Zoning Commission at a public hearing. No one spoke in opposition of the request, and the commission voted unanimously to recommend approval.
Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve, Barry.
Second, Nero.
Motion been made and second to approve. Any comments? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Trustee Barry.
Yes.
Trustee Little.
Yes.
Trustee Barker.
Yes.
Trustee Guzzo.
Yes.
Trustee Nero.
Yes.
Motion passes. We didn't even have to call on you. All right. New business C, Clemens Insurance, 41 North Cass Avenue, a special use and a B1 permits. Board to consider the following ordinances regarding Clemens Enterprises Incorporated at 41 North Cass Avenue. 1. Special use permits allow the applicant to operate a life and health insurance business on the ground floor of a 1,850 square foot space in the B1 Limited Business District. And 2, a B1 permit to relocate an existing downtown business to the subject property. Director Sylvester.
So 2 things to point out about this request. As you all know, any business in our downtown requires you as the village board to approve a B1 permit. So that's the first request. And this is for Clemens Enterprise Insurance business to move from the west side of Cass, closer to the tracks, to the east side of Cass in the former location of the Scallywags business. So the first item is the B1 permit. The second item is a request for a special use permit. The reason a special use permit is required is the village's zoning rules say in the downtown, offices are allowed by right automatically if they're under 1,000 square feet. This proposed insurance business would be over 1,000 square feet, and so a special use permit is required. The special use permit is specifically in the zoning ordinance, so that piece of this item was considered by the Planning and Zoning Commission, and it was voted on unanimously to recommend approval. The B1 permit request does not go through Planning and Zoning Commission, and it goes straight to you, so you'll be the first ones to vote on that aspect of the request.
Okay, so I'm looking for a motion to approve both as presented.
Motion to approve both as read. Little?
Second, Nero.
Motion been made in second. Comments? Allison, would you like to come up before we vote? And maybe give us a little information?
Thank you, Mayor. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. I appreciate your consideration. My business has gone from when I moved into the location, I had 100 clients, now I have about 800 in 3 years. And also because of HIPAA, I need privacy with a private office and to keep space. And also I'll do educational events in the middle to let people know on Medicare how, the process for that. I've also added my daughter as an insurance agent and then also full-time assistant now. So also there's parking on the side and in the front. So that's why I'm also requesting, because that way a lot of them have walkers and wheelchairs. And so it'd be a lot less steps. And I do want to stay downtown because I'm very active in the community. So I would like to stay downtown.
Good. And are you okay with giving up your address, 8.5?
I know, that's really unusual, the 8.5. A lot of people thought it was really funny. So, yes, I'd be willing to give up 8.5 for 41.
Okay. Any other comments, questions? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Trustee Little,
Yes.
Trustee Barry,
Yes.
Trustee Nero,
Yes.
Trustee Barker,
Yes.
Trustee Guzzo.
Yes.
Motion passes. When are you going to have the open house?
Well, the furniture will be moving in this week, because they're all on hold for it, and so that'll be tomorrow, and then have to do the permitting through the village, and then, hopefully it'll be probably in the beginning of September.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's kind of
socially
hard to have
distanced.
open houses now with the
It's hard.
virus, yeah. Well,
So,
good luck.
thank you, I appreciate it.
New business D, code amendments for cannabis regulations. Board to consider ordinance approving amendments to Chapter 22 and Chapter 58 of the Westmont Code of Ordinance regarding cannabis and paraphernalia law regulations. Attorney Zemanek.
Thank you, Mayor. These amendments are necessary as a result of the Cannabis Regulation and Tax Act, which became effective January 1st of this year. Really just some ordinance cleanup issues. I'll start with Chapter 58. Currently, Section 58-28 says it's unlawful for any person to knowingly possess cannabis, so that needed to be updated. There are still circumstances when it is unlawful to possess cannabis, such as if you're under 21, if you're possessing more than the legal limit that's allowed in various types of schools, on a school bus, in a vehicle if it's not sealed properly, et cetera. And this ordinance follows the Cannabis Regulation and Tax Act prohibitions on possession. Possession is otherwise legal. You're allowed to carry it around on your body if you do it in accordance with the act. The next amendment addresses consumption of cannabis, and again, people can legally consume cannabis if they're over 21 in their home, but this outlines where consumption is not allowed, and that would include public places such as public buildings, parks, et cetera, streets, school buses, schools, private residences if they're used as a licensed child care facility, et cetera. It also addresses sale and purchase. If a sale is made by other than a licensed cannabis dispensary, that's illegal and covered by this section. If a sale is made to someone who's under 21, that's prohibited by this section. If someone under 21 purchases cannabis from a dispensary, they're subject to a citation under this section. And these are more or less civil in nature, these violations. They would not be prosecuted criminally, and they'd be subject to a fine of between $50 and $750 for each violation. Then there's also some cleanup on the prohibition of drug paraphernalia and related transactions, just to basically clear up that cannabis paraphernalia is no longer considered illegal. But otherwise, the language making it unlawful to sell drug paraphernalia remains. As Detective Lenny Gabrielski pointed out to me, it's very difficult to stop paraphernalia sales of any drug products because those products are oftentimes have multiple uses, and the store will claim that they are a spoon or a pipe or whatever has an alternative primary use, and it's not intended to be used for illegal drugs. And then going to Chapter 22, that is the chapter for business licensing. Currently, there's a business license requirement for various merchandising activities, and that includes paraphernalia sales, and refers to the sale of illegal cannabis paraphernalia. So we just struck the word cannabis where necessary in that section. And that's it.
That's it. So this would be similar to the alcohol violations for underage, as far as the fines and citing it locally?
Yes, correct. It would be cited locally go to Downers Grove Field Court, for example, since we don't do administrative adjudication for that. While we do prohibit certain types of possession, if someone were to have large quantities where it was intent to distribute, there are criminal statutes that could apply, and they could be subject to criminal enforcement.
But if a legitimate business sold to a minor, then they would get fined by the local municipality.
Correct.
Okay. Do I have a motion to approve as presented?
Motion to approve, Nero.
Second, Little?
Motion made and second. Any additional comments? Chief, you got anything? Nope. Any trustee? Seeing none, I'd ask for a roll call, please.
Trustee Nero.
Yes.
Trustee Guzzo.
Yes.
Trustee Barker.
Yes.
Trustee Little.
Yes.
Trustee Barry.
Yes.
Yes. Motion passes. Miscellaneous. Does anybody have anything that we forgot? If not,
Mayor, I would have something.
Yes, Trustee Barker.
Yeah, have they changed the guidelines for the video gaming? I saw a sign that advertised 6 machines, but maybe it was 5. I was driving. It was a quick glance, but the machines in the past have been grouped together behind a wall, and this particular advertising was that they were spread out 6 feet apart, and if it was 5 machines, that would be over 30 feet. I'm just wondering if, because of the pandemic, have the rules of that stuff been relaxed, or people are just improvising at this point?
I think per the governor, you're supposed to be 6 feet apart. But I think they could also put partitions like we have between them. And now the state allows 6 machines if per business that is authorized to have them. So I don't know any other requirements other than the 6 feet. If you don't have any protection between the machines, they need to be 6 feet apart.
It's either or. It's the
Either or, yeah.
the distance or the physical barrier.
And if everybody sees, we put the partitions up on, around the board members.
Mayor, I've already seen places where they're using the plexiglass partitions between the machines.
Good, and they're supposed to, per our ordinance, have a, at least a half wall or some sort of a barrier where the machines are at.
Right, thank you.
All right, thank you.
On that note, Need has their machines now up and running that we approved before, and they do have those plastic dividers like Trustee Little mentioned. They only have 4 machines, but Bruce, the rule is now 6 machines. I think that changed somewhere last year.
Yes, and I think next month we'll be addressing a liquor license that would authorize a business to have video gaming. We were on a 6-month wait, so absolutely delicious will be on a future agenda for the board to review and vote on. So any other miscellaneous? Seeing none, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn, Little?
Second, Nero.
Motion been made, second to adjourn. Roll call, please.
Trustee Little.
Yes.
Trustee Barry.
Yes.
Trustee Nero.
Yes.
Trustee Guzzo.
Yes.
Trustee Barker.
Yes.
Again, thank everyone for attending. This meeting is adjourned.